Hello friends, in this video we will be discussing multi-programming. Before going to the multi-programming, we must know the uniprogramming. This is what I explained in the previous video with example. Uniprogramming allows only one program in user area of main memory at a time. Look at this picture. The main memory is divided into two partitions, one for operating system, other for user area. As per the definition of the uniprogramming, the entire user area is considering as a single partition. When it is considering as a single partition, I can run only one program at a time or one process. So when I want to run more than one process, this is not feasible. In this regard, we are moving to the multi-programming. What is multi-programming? Multi-programming keeps several programs in user area of main memory at a time and execute them concurrently utilizing single CPU or processor. Look at this picture. The main memory is divided into two partitions, one for operating system, other for user area. User area is divided into multiple partitions, means more than one partition. When it is having more than one partition, I can load more than one program at a time in the user area. How many programs I can load at a time is with respect to the number of partitions and the size of each partition. Suppose the user area divided into three partitions, P1, P2, P3. So then maximum 3 programs I can load into the user area at a time. That is what multi-programming keeps several programs in user area of main memory at a time. So when it is having 3 partitions, I can select equal size 3 programs and those programs I can load into the main memory at a time. And execute them concurrently utilizing single CPU or processor. When user area is having more than one process, means the processors are ready for the CPU. When P1 is requesting to the CPU, CPU will be allocated to the P1. After some time, P1 is waiting for the IO devices. During the IO devices stage, the CPU is allocating to the next process, whichever it is available. This entire process is called execute them concurrently utilizing single CPU or processor. How to remember the multi-programming concept? Let us take a real-world example. That is what hospital management. Hospital area I can assume as a main memory. It is divided into two partitions. OS part is a hospital management system and the user area is patient queue management system and doctor is like a CPU. IO devices are nothing but various sections like a blood sample testing, BP section, a diagnosis center, like many others are there. And the disk is nothing but we people are staying in the secondary storage. So when we used to get a problem, then we must be enter into the ready queue. Ready queue means patient queue management. When the patients are in the patient management queue, as per the arrival order of the P1 enter into the doctor room. The doctor will examine the patient and finally the doctor may refer for the blood sample testing or maybe diagnosis or maybe the patient get the medical prescription. Any one of the cases. Suppose the doctor is referring for the blood section samples, then the P1 must be wait for the blood section samples. During this time, the doctor will be allocate next patient. So this process is called concurrent process only. Like this, it will be processed. Let us look into this structure for understanding and analyzing of multi-programming with the help of this diagrammatical representation. Let us assume, suppose there are 3 processes are available in a ready queue. Ready queue means in the user area. When the processes are available in a user area, now as per the arrival order, the process P1 is requesting to the CPU. Then CPU will be allocated to the process P1. After some time, process P1 is waiting for the IO devices. When P1 is waiting for the IO devices, the CPU is allocated to the next process, whichever it is available in a ready queue or a user area. After some time, P2 is also waiting for the IO devices. When it is waiting for the IO devices, the CPU is allocated to P3. When P3 is busy with the CPU, during this time, you see that the P1 task, IO task completed, and immediately the CPU is allocating to the P1. After finishing of the P1 task, then the CPU is allocated to the P2 task. You see here, once the P2 task has been completed, then the CPU is allocated to the P3. During the P3, let us look into this. 1 millisecond CPU is the idle time. Why the CPU is idle 1 millisecond means, as per the ready queue size, only 3 processors are available. So the CPU is idle. Suppose in the ready queue, one more process is available, then CPU can engage with the next process. But as per the queue size, only 3 are there, so that the CPU is idle. So in this chart, see all the processes I have completed within 16 milliseconds. In entire duration of the time, CPU idle time is only 1 millisecond. Only 1 millisecond. So that means I am minimizing the idle time. That means I am maximizing the CPU utilization. Okay. This is the process of the concurrent process. Advantages of multi-programming: minimization of the idle CPU time. What is the minimization of the idle CPU time? Look at this picture. You see, CPU is busy in first millisecond, CPU is busy in second millisecond, third millisecond, fourth, fifth, and so on. You see, only during the 14th millisecond, CPU is idle. So, for the completion of all these processes, it took 16 milliseconds. So, 16 minus idle time 1. So, 16 minus 1 is 15. 15 divided by total duration of the time for completion of 3 processes, 16. So, 15 by 16, that is CPU utilization time. That means 93.75 around. So, satisfying the property of the minimization of the idle CPU time. Increase the throughput. You see, simultaneously I executed all the processes. When I am executing simultaneously, that means always CPU is busy. So when the CPU is always busy, so definitely there will be throughput will be more. When comparatively with the uniprogramming, let us take as for the uniprogramming, I can run only one at a time. In the uniprogramming, simultaneous process is not possible. When it is not possible, I can run only one process at a time. Let us take it, the P1 requirement is 5 and P2 requirement is, you see that 9, total 9 plus 5, 14, and P3 requirement is, let us look into this, 6 plus 1. So total is 7. 7 plus 14, 21 milliseconds are required if I run the same set of processes in the uniprogramming. And also process to process swapping operation is required. But whereas in the multi-programming, the swapping operation is not required when these processes are available in a ready queue. That is one added advantage in the multi-programming. If you want to go for the fourth process, but there must be required swapping operation. Any one of these processes must be swap out and the next process has to be swap in. So that is one added advantage in multi-programming comparatively uniprogramming. So increase the throughput means within 16 milliseconds I should able to execute 3 processes, whereas in the uniprogramming 3 processes if I want to execute I require 21 milliseconds. So throughput is increasing. Increase the utilization of the memory. User area is divided into multiple partitions. When it is having more than one partition, so I can use maximum amount of memory for the processors. Whereas in the uniprogramming, you see the entire area have to use only for the one program. Due to that reason, there was a memory wastage. But in the multi-programming, so memory utilization is very high. Less waiting time. When the P1 is waiting for the IO devices, during this time the CPU is allocated to P2. So P2 is getting chance to enter into the CPU in a shortest period of time. But whereas in the uniprogramming, after completion of the P1, then P2 will get a chance to enter into the CPU. Means at 6th millisecond, P2 get a chance to enter into the CPU in the uniprogramming. Whereas in the multiprogramming, P2 is getting a chance to enter into the CPU at 2nd millisecond. So that means less waiting time. Disadvantages. Difficult scheduling. You see, in the user area, more than one process is there. When it is having more than one process, there is a possibility of the racing among the processes. Means which I have to be select and which I have to be execute first. That racing might be there. Where the racing is there, there I must apply the scheduling algorithms like FCFS, SJF, round robin. All these algorithms I will discuss in future videos. Next, disadvantage. Memory management techniques need to be applied. See, when the user area is divided into multiple partitions, so I should take care of the partitioning, whether it is static partitioning or dynamic partitioning, how effectively utilizing the memory. That is what will be discussed in the memory management unit. Memory fragmentation. Let us look into this user area. The user area is divided into n number of partitions. Suppose the partition 1 size is 100 bytes, but my program size is 50 bytes. So that means requirement is 50, availability is 100, 100 minus 50, then still there is a gap. If it is a fixed partition, there should be possibility of the internal fragmentation. And this is what I explained in the multiple partition allocation and a single partition allocation. In the next video, I will discuss difference between uniprogramming and multiprogramming, and also extension of the multiprogramming, that is multitasking. Thank you, one and all.